There's something within this thing that holdeth the rein. And we thank God that we can't see that something, but still it makes us say, up and let's be going in the face of adversity. As Sister Jill said, there is no failure in God. Matthew 9. As Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness, thank God, and every disease among the people. That's God's attitude toward healing. Praise God, I want to heal us all. Father, help us, praise God, to get the good combination, get it right. We know one thing, God wants faithful saints. Praise God, I know He wants to bless the church and not individuals as such as far as the glory. So Lord, help us, praise God, to be what He'd have us to be. All right. As Jude said, let's earnestly contend for the faith that was once delivered to the saints. And I heard that among the ministers here lately, that they be willing to serve in that capacity, not only laboring for the healing of the saints, but with the gift. If we would make ourselves available. See, if God would choose you or I for divine healing, would we be available? See, that's the thought. Are you willing to stay up to 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning? Are you willing to spend the night with the sick? How much compassion do you have? Can you go home and get into bed knowing that your brother or sister is suffering and you're a minister that cares? I mean, do you have a burden? Christ had a burden. He had compassion. Amen. How many nights have we been spent by the sick bed? How many times have it been all day that you've been by the sick bed? Huh? The Lord will choose someone for the gift. It's surely going to be someone who's willing to give themselves to it. You have to be willing to give yourself to it. Fasting, we ought to be willing to do that. That's right. We don't want to get fat seeking the gift. No, Lord God, we want it, and then we're going to deny ourselves from time to time. But that was what we started out to say, but it came up just pretty good right here. Jesus went about all the cities and villages. How long would you last going about the cities and villages? I think, Lord, how available will I be with the divine gift of healing? A predictable outcome when you pray. And am I willing to get up 3 a.m. and go to Columbus? Am I willing to get up, amen, at 4:30 go to Indianapolis? Am I willing to catch a plane? Am I available for the work? He went about the cities and villages teaching and preaching in the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as a sheep having no shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Mark 1:16. Wait a minute. Pray ye therefore, before we go on, the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Pray the Lord. See, God doesn't have to do it. God is the one. Pray that he would do it. Pray that somebody would be willing to submit to the hardships and the rigors of discipleship in the form of the ministry. Pray ye the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. And we know the laborers, of course, we Pick that up in Ephesians 4 and in 1 Corinthians. He gave some pastors, some evangelists, some teachers for the work of the ministry, that edification of the body, edification. The laborers. In that sense, those are specialized laborers. And they are specialized in the harvest. But we all have a part of the harvest if we're His children. I mean, there's no excuse anybody, to feel like they have to sit on the front porch and watch the traffic go by when there's work to be done. We want to have compassion on the afflicted and not get tired of praying for them. We pray for the sick here at the altar, but sometimes that don't do the job. Sometimes you got to get to the bedside and spend some time and have compassion on the sick. There's not one of us in here that have a real claim of salvation that are excused from seeking God for laborers. If you can't do it, He said you pray that God will send somebody who can do it. But He will qualify someone who will do it. Pray the Lord of the harvest. We hear there are needs in the east and in the west and in the north and in the south. Are you a suitable candidate? Will God choose you? Wait until the evil light. It's time for all the power of God to be manifest. It's time. We're not only sitting here getting eating ourselves out of shape and still saying we have compassion upon the sick. Where's the burden? Where's the compassion? We are laborers together, the Bible said, with God. We're expecting God to do all the work, and we're not laboring with Him. And I'm wondering, where are the dedicated souls? That I'll be with you for a little while, now I got to go. That's not dedication. Tell wife, I won't be there. Take the plates off the table. Such and such, I'm going to stay till the Lord tell me go home. I'm going to be here. We're going to pray through. I've been in a few situations like that. I know how it feels when it's time to go and you don't feel like going. I know when you have to cancel some appointments because someone needs me. If I can't be done with some comfort, I'm going to stick with them. All the more, my affliction will let me know that there comes a time that you need comfort. There's a time that you need someone to stick with you. There's a time that you want to call on the saint and not feel like that you are imposing yourself upon them. We call for prayer. We like to feel like that we're not interfering in an unsuitable way with somebody's sleep. The Word of God said you call the elders. Now you don't want to waste the elders or wear them out. If you can make it till morning, you ought to. But there come a time when you need to. One place said you ask, receive not because you ask not. See? So you need to call for the elders. But at the same time, you don't need to call them for a splinter in your finger. They get care of that tomorrow. Even natural doctors wouldn't come. They don't come at all nowadays, but they used to come. But they tell you, sometimes they take aspirin, two aspirins and call me in the morning. And I ain't getting up and coming with you out. But you got it, and it'll take care of it. If 3 aspirin, ease the misery of it, and then go to sleep. But we don't be taking no aspirin. But we will pray for you. Pray the Lord, therefore the Lord of the harvest, that He will send forth laborers into the harvest. Been reading of divine healers, and if you're interested in it, you have been reading about it. At one side, you are interested that you have followed behind. Not so much the morning time ministers, because we feel like the morning time they had Jesus with them and things were so high. But the Reformation ministers, they had to put up with what we had to put up with. Didn't have any telephones in many cases. Very few cars. There was horse and buggy. Or ride the train. And go take care of the needs that come to our attention. Lord, involve us more in the work of His hands. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. This is 10:37, Matthew. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You can't be led when you're being led by kinfolks. You can't be led of God. You can't be instructed of God when you receive instruction from carnal folk. You're going to be God's disciple. And that is not to say be mean to your kinfolk. That's not it. Or neglectful even of them. But they can't be a Holy Ghost. And he that taketh not his cross, there you go, and following after me is not worthy of me. You see, to be a disciple of Christ and a laborer with Christ, you must be willing to be inconvenienced. Yeah? Well, you must be willing to be inconvenienced because your schedule or the schedule problems may not fit your natural schedule. Amen. It's very inconvenient for someone to have a serious problem at 3:30 a.m. Or in the afternoon, you get ready to sit down to the table and the phone ring and you got to get up and go pray for somebody. You got to go pray for a child, drink some disinfectant. One afternoon, you got to cry, a call, fast call. Child had drank something, had no business. Had to go see about it fast. Didn't do the work. God did the work. But we thank God that for most of the problems that we have, God take care of them. The old folk can get at the altar and have problems up here, your chance you don't see them come back. And some of you are the Lord is blessing you, you're not giving God thanks. You should get up and give God some thanks for the encouragement of the saints and the ministry. We're encouraged when you get up and give God thanks, but sometimes we pray for you and got other things to do and you go on about your business. Where's the nine? Just tell me this, one soul came back to give God some thanks. And you don't testify at all, and you pray for you and you get better and get healed, and don't come back and say, saints of God, God bless me. You know, I was at the altar the other night and got prayed for and God bless me. And some folks are feeling, well, ain't nothing going on. No, we don't have enough thankfulness for what God does do for us. When God does bless us, we ought to thank God, and that'll help to build your faith and the faith of the other saints. Right? All right, so we need to be thankful. How are we going to get going if we don't want to go? All right. Mark, let me read here for a bit. It's time God to use somebody. Amen. As he said, the offenses will come, but woe unto those by whom they come. God didn't send for offenses, he didn't ordain offenses. But offenses will come anyhow because of the nature of man. But as far as the divine healing, God hath ordained that. As far as the saints prospering in the Lord, he hath ordained that. As far as the laborers, God hath ordained that. He said, pray the Lord of the harvest. He wants the saints to pray. You know, we are so busy praying God save somebody that we forget to pray that somebody be here to minister to them when they get saved. And so therefore, sometimes we have a lot of congregations that are bigger than the ministerial force. Right. Sister Smite's gone, Brother Ronnie's gone, or either one of them gone. We're diminished. She prays with the women. And women got some things to say that maybe I don't need to be listening to. See? Praise the Lord of the harvest and send some ladies into the ministry. All right? Can you pray that way? Can you pray the Lord would increase the ministerial force here? Can you pray that way? I mean, this building's not praying. Don't want to pray? Tuesday morning, sometimes we have too long a law for folks when we pray in public. I wonder what kind of prayers are being prayed by the bedside when we look around and see things that are not being accomplished that ought to be accomplished. When you pray by the wayside when half the saints come in after the right hour, don't come into church late. How much blessing are you going to get and how great are you going to be for God? And then when you don't have a burden to come in, how are you going to have a burden for other things? See, we take it casually about coming to church. And you could make it, but just don't live out here in town. Just don't make it. You take the attitude, so what if I'm a little bit late? Well, you can say that to me, but we're going to say to God. Lord, give me some power. Lord, give me some power. Lord, let me do this and let me do that. He said, you're not dedicated. You make a minister, a divine healer out of you, and they can't find you. Busy doing laundry, busy finishing up this, and busy doing that, and running to the mall, and running back to the mall, and then exchanging tomorrow what you bought today at the mall, and getting entangled. He said, God, whom God hath chosen to be a warrior, you can't entangle yourself in things of this world. We have to be available to do what God wants us to do. Maybe God would bless us if we were a little more available. If you say I don't have any ability, maybe God's looking for availability. And maybe He's just trying to wake us up to the fact that we need to be praying, amen, that God will qualify His workers. Maybe that's what God wants. Maybe that's why we have problems sometimes. Because we're too casual about it. Amen. Those who do get healed might take 3 weeks or 4 weeks of steady praying and fasting. When God could heal them while we were there. But He wants the saints to realize that the gift that He has ordained for the church ought to be in it. And if you don't care, well, maybe you don't care. Now how's your spiritual praying? The fervent, effectual prayer of a righteous man availeth much, and how fervent is our prayer and how righteous are we to get the prayers through. God has a pattern, and I don't think He wants to bless over junk. I don't think He wants to do that. I think He wants to bless, amen, where His dear children are, being what He wants to be, being what He wants us to be. Mark 1:16. Now as He walked by the Sea of Galilee, He saw Simon and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. Jesus said unto them, Come ye after me, and I will make you to become fishers of men. Let's go to 2:16 in the same chapter. Come with me, and I'll make you to be fishers of men. Well, we need somebody who can fish for men. All right, 13. When He went forth again by the seaside, and all the multitude resorted unto Him, and He taught them. And as He passed by, He saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting at the receipt of custom. He said unto him, Follow me. And he arose and followed Him. And if we go on, we find others. One was a tax collector, sit at the seat of custom. Tax collector. There was one this and one was that, but all of them was working. You see, if you want to get something done, give something to somebody who will work. Somebody who's busy. Somebody who has a work ethic. Not a casual worker. Somebody with a job. Somebody who's working already. So if you want to get a job done, give it to a busy man, because he's busy. That's his nature, to work. He likes to work. It's his ethic. He work. A man who is not doing anything, look at a man, his house is all messed up. You don't need calling him for the ministry. A man won't rake his own leaves, won't cut his grass. You don't need calling him. Chances are he won't work. Look at a church and see who's doing what. What kind of job do you have for yourself? I'm telling you, over half the saints have something that they have attached themselves for. Some have decided, I'm going to be on the sweep force, and I'm going to be on the clean the restrooms. I'm going to do something around here. Some are satisfied to do nothing. And therefore, we have a lot of people that are doing a lot of stuff. Excuse me. We have a lot of people who are involved, but how many are doing? But there's a lot of work left undone, let me tell you that way. Or that is piled on someone who's already doing something. Now, if you have a work ethic, you would not let that happen if you were available. You wouldn't walk out of here and see the saints working and walk out, and all you're going to do is go home. And we have saints that, when it's time on Tuesday morning to clean up, we have people that are not on the staff. Because they have that in them. To grab a rag and dust and where's the furniture polish? And work. Haven't been told to work. They see that there's a need, and they go in and do it. You can get in their cars and take off too. It would be a shame we had to hire people to clean the building with all this opportunity for someone to have some works, because you can't be saved without works. Faith without works is dead. So we have to find something to do to show our faith. And that's a small thing, to do some labor with our hands, because if God wants you to do some work in the Spirit, then you should have an attitude, I'll help out there. He didn't say found some guy laying in the shade, told him, get up from there, you lazy dude, I'm going to make a worker out of you. He didn't say that. Most of them were already busy. Pray, I like that point. He said, pray the Lord of the harvest. We need to get to praying. That God will send laborers. Now, we don't know how God will qualify each one, but the very one that you have to pray down may be the one that will be the blesser of your soul in some way or other. Maybe you would understand his preaching and prosper under his preaching more than you. And maybe you will be the one that may be laid up, wrapped in pain, and the one you help pray down will come through and help you out. Not only gift of healings, a word of prophecy, words of wisdom. That's right. Gift of discernment. The real gift. Sometimes we need it. When the devil's working hard and the spirits are loose. And I'm talking about, I've seen a lot of that pretended gifts of discernment. I haven't seen any that work good. Laborers together with God. Workers. We're workers. Condition of discipleship. Then said Jesus unto the disciples, if any man come after me, let him deny himself. Self-denial. So you'll be available. If you want to do what you want to do, then you won't be available as you want to be. I don't have to go home and eat. You don't either, if you have a burden. Maybe it is supper time, but here's somebody that dare not leave them. See? Self-denial. If any man will come after me, let him deny himself. Well, you know, I'm disqualified right there, because I'm not going to deny myself. And I'm not going to fast. And if you can't deny yourself, then you won't be fasting either. You'll have some excuse. It makes me sick. It makes anybody sick if they're not used to it. That's normal. One thing about a trip to the refrigerator will heal you, but there's somebody out there that needs more than a refrigerator to restore their health and strength. Fasting ain't going to kill you unless you're going to overdo it. Fasting and praying, not just fasting. It's discipleship. If any man will come after me. How many people are consecrated, dedicated to deny themselves to be of service to God, be of service to the fellow saints? Renounce a few things. It says, if any man come to me and hate not his mother, father, wife, and children and brethren, yea, in his own life also. Your own life also. Well, I want to preserve my life. Yeah, but you being a convenience servant. If it's not convenient, you don't want to serve. So you got to deny that. Also, he can't not be my disciple. Now we're praying God send the laborers, disciples, qualified men and women, amen, to pick up the work, Lord, so that we won't be left embarrassed and ashamed. But God will work with us and through us as prophets, teachers, evangelists, miracle workers, healers. Do we believe that these things still exist, or have you read them in the record? Some of us can't believe it because we have not involved or exposed ourselves to those that have been involved in it. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, so he can be my disciple, and he cannot be my disciple. Steadfast. Then said Jesus to those Jews who believed on him, if you continue in my word, then you are my disciples. There's been taking 2 weeks off to go do something else, other than abiding in God's word. No, sir, we're not going to the pleasure parks and resorts and come back and still be the spiritual man or woman for God. We're not searching out earthly fun and still be servants of God, laboring good. Now, there's something God can use just about all of us for if we'll present ourselves some way. Maybe it won't be an evangelist, but there's something where you can be an encouragement and a strength to the saints. And we got those around here that are, but they don't want to be taking vacations. Thank God for those that are dedicated to the singing. That's important. They were appointed singers in the Old Testament. They had singers. They had very large crowds for singing. They weren't the most important people around, but they sure was important. And God ordained it. The singers and the players on the instruments and whatnot. Yeah. Now, what would you like to be? Desire. Spiritual gifts, the Bible said that. But we're around pouting and moping and complaining about things not going our way. Yeah, God can't use you that way. You got to be able to be walked on. Why? To get your job done. That's right. Be persistent. As we said, if you continue, you got to be persistent. Sometimes people mistreat you while you're working, but keep your eyes on the goal and keep on pressing to get it done what you need to get done. Now, laborers together with God don't mean occasionally lift a little finger. It means with abandon of our own, get busy for God. Pray, God, help me out. You say, well, I can't do nothing. Well, no, you can't do nothing. The Scripture already told us that. Without me, you can't do nothing. But you don't have to be without him. If we'll watch our conduct and behave as we ought to be, we don't need to be without God. And we need to be close enough to God to keep on praying. Don't quit praying. You sit around people sitting in the congregation that don't pray like they ought to. You can't fool me. I know there's people sitting in here that are not given to prayer. They're not prayer warriors. There's some who pray around here that might pray once a day. There's some around here that won't even get 5 minutes of prayer in and all day long. There's some in here that might not get 15 minutes in a whole week. Yeah. Well, I can look at the results. When I see attitudes coming up, people feeling sorry for themselves, and people wanting this to be done and that to be done, and complaining about, I know this because there's not enough spirituality about them. They're not doing that prayer. That's right. People who are backsliding, they haven't sought God for their strength. They're satisfied in backsliding. People that are backsliding, they must be satisfied and do nothing about it. See? That's a Bible term, backsliding, which means it takes time. It isn't back popping. You don't pop out into sin from a victorious life. It takes a while to get back. Some neglect. It does. It takes some neglect and some don't care. And this is what I want to do. And I know the Bible says not, but I'm going to do it right quick and then I'm going to straighten up. No. That's why the 13th chapter of 1 Corinthians was written. You know why it was written? People seeking gifts without qualification. And you check it out. You'll find out that that's why that chapter was written. Because people wanted to work for God, but they weren't qualified. And he let them know that if you don't qualify, forget it. If you could do that, it would be an edification to the body. If you could. Without a proper heart attitude. Pray the Lord of the harvest. Remember Dale saying the other day about E. Byron. He had a burden. And the Lord said, well, you're the one. He had 3 men that could pray the prayer of faith that had the gift of healing that were available in that area. And one of the brethren came up and said, well, such and such is sick. And he was sick. I think he was about, maybe 80 miles away. He said, and brother so-and-so is out on the West Coast. Brother other so-and-so that could pray to get the other said, you're the only one that can pray. Would you go praying for him? He said, well, let me pray about it. And before he could get to his prayer place, the Lord said, go. He came back and said, I'll go. And he went and took care of it. How about you? Will you go? Well, no, this is my banking day. I can't go today. Well, no, my laundry's piled up. I can't go. Well, would you go? If you hadn't asked me so quick. Oh, who can go? Well, see if you can get somebody else. I can't go. I don't know anybody else can pray the prayer of faith. Well, this prayer of faith business is a burden. But you asked for it. I know I asked for it. Probably didn't know what I was talking about. That's your attitude? If you got that attitude now, it may be your attitude later. So God give you and bless you to do his work, and you're not available. Now, how do you do that? In one place, freely I have given. Freely you have received, freely give. That's right. So, Lord help us, thank God, to approach this properly. We don't want to approach the need improperly like those Corinthian people were doing. Fussing among themselves, strife, and envy. And lazy is not a gift of the Spirit either. Oh no. Selfish is not a gift of the Spirit. Wrong spirit. So we do want to pray. Lord, have mercy upon us and bless us. Thank God, let the church be the church where we are. All right? We can pray that way. Right? Can we sing? Are we really concerned? It's a whole lot easier to light a candle and encourage the darkness. There ain't no power. Ain't no power around you. What do you mean there ain't no power? Who are you to complain? We shouldn't be complaining because there's no power when God has not barred you from having something. Right? Come on, do you understand? Yeah, okay. I didn't get very much that time, but I'll ask him once more time. All right. Do you feel that God has excluded you from being a strength and a power among the congregation? Is God going to have to save a whole new bunch of people to get the gift in the church? And I'm going to tell you, some of the new folks will come on with more zeal and power than some of the folks have been sitting around to get caught into that mode of resting and waiting on somebody else. Even to the where they'll be offensive, where sometimes they'll stand against truth. Instead of standing, trying to get the thing running. Last day we spent our energy and our strength in an anti-mood instead of saying, let's go, brother. I'll lead the way. So he has not excluded us because he has chosen the people of God to populate the church of God. And among those people who populate the church of God, will he choose those that he will appoint for special works. All right, but he wants to see certain attitudes before he do that, as attested to by the 1 Corinthians 13. If I have all those gifts, you're talking about, you're still lacking. That's what he was teaching in the 13th chapter. That's something you need to have in order to hang the rest of the gifts on. If you don't love the saints, there ain't no need of giving you a gift of healing. If you don't love the saints, there's no talking about a gift of prophecy. But you're not going to prophesy, you're going to be busy. I don't see nobody lost. I don't see anybody going to hell, so we preach the gospel. That's what he's saying. We preach. God so loved the world, he sent his only begotten Son. And what did the Son come for? The greatest prophet ever walked the earth, his Son. And he preached. So we preach and warn and exhort out of love. But someone take it and want to challenge that exhortation, challenge that reproof, challenge that rebuke, fall short, and drift along till they get old and die, bitter, and out of touch, and out of step. So Lord help us, we won't be that way. Everything's not going to go my way or yours either, so let's go to heaven anyhow. What do you think? God bless you, dear saints of God. We'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. We want to see the church shine. We sing about her. But if she's going to shine, they're going to have somebody in it that'll shine. They're willing to go a little further to be where God would be. Time. I got time to serve God. Praise God. That's what you're looking for, somebody got time to serve God. Why you didn't have time for nothing? When we go into eternity, there's no time there. Let's stand. We have a number. 313. Lord, help us, we pray. My God, is there anything for me to do? I'm no great one, but is there anything I can do? Yes, it is. You can humble, and then I'll tell you. My God, help us. Would you like to be used of God? Are you willing to be used? On the Lord's time, according to need, are you willing? Lord, how many hours do you need? Lord, what would you have me to do? Where do you want me to go, Lord? Who can I help, Lord? A word for the Lord where I go, and a word for the Lord where I am. Let me get out the way, Lord, so you can use me if you want to. I know I can't do it, but Lord, I'm leaning on you for qualification, but just use me. Our for Lord. No, take them down. Lord, if I can't do much, let me be faithful in what I can do and be available. Amen. All right. Are there any announcements or anything need to be said before we go? Brother Ted? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need it. Thank you. All right, Sister Pat?
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do as far as reservations. Am I supposed to call or
Reservation for what?
what's that department?
All right. Those that signed up for Arkansas, have you made your reservation? No reservations are on the announcement, but you have to make your own, and it has to get it at the motel. If you want Sister Chen to make those reservations for you, you have to tell her because she don't know. Because there's no spot on there for it.